Hello all Inderes TV listeners and viewers. Anora reported their Q2 this morning, and we have here company CEO Kirsi Puntila and CFO Stein Eriksen for interview. Hello, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's start, Kirsi, with the easy and usual question. So how did the Q2 go in your perspective?
Yeah, I think Anora Q2 was very much of a reflection of the whole season of this year, which means that it started well with the Easter effect being positive in April, but then it deteriorated by the raindrops dropping in May and early June, but then again started picking up towards the end of July. So in fact, the quarter was quite mixed. If we start from the positives, I think gross margin percentage, obviously we're very pleased with, raised to 42.6% of net sales. OPEX shows that we have a very good cost control in the company. Inventory reduction, we're very proud that we have now consistent decline in inventory. And in fact, industrial segment did a very good job. But then, in all honesty, our challenge also in Q2 remains the top line. It's a very difficult market situation. The net sales was down by 6.6%, amounting to 165.5 million euros. And then due to all of that, EBITDA ended at 14 million, which was 8.3% below last year.
Yeah. Like you mentioned, volume was basically the problem, and your beverage segment sales actually decreased more than what the market volumes were down. So you were losing market shares. Can you a bit elaborate what was driving that in spirits and wines? I guess there was a bit of a different drivers.
There were, but listen, Rauli, I think on the other hand, wines market share increased in the areas which are most important for us. We are extremely proud about now the ongoing development in Sweden. I think last time around in quarter one, we only had experienced maybe 1 month. Now we see that the development of market shares in Sweden is much more than just the 1 month wonder. On the contrary, it seems to be now that we have found the medicine for the disease in Sweden, which we intend to then copy to the rest of the markets. So that's the case in wines market shares. But sure, in spirits in particular, we had a challenge in market shares in most of the key markets. But even there, the key reason for that is actually the lost partners. So 2/3 of that is based on the lost partners.
Yeah, okay. And maybe Stein, to you, the next one, still continuing with the wine segment, the earnings were down now again in both Q2 and H1. You have struggled in the segment also during the prior years. So is it only the volume which is the problem, or do you see some kind of clear fixes also needed in the gross margin or in the OPEX side?
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to turn every stone in order to improve the profitability of the wine business. But that being said, I mean, I hugely believe in the potential of the wine business. Just looking at, like Kirsi said, especially the market share development that we now have in Sweden, 2 consecutive quarters with market share gains. We strongly believe in that we can replicate some of the things we have done in Sweden now also into the Norwegian and also into the Finnish market. So definitely we're still strong believer of the wine business. But of course we need to look at both the gross margin and the OPEX in order to improve the profitability. That being said, I think it's fair to say also that we did increase the marketing spend in the wine business, both in Q1 and in Q2, mainly then related to the Swedish business. But it's also an investment into growth. And then even more pleased to see that we actually managed to then gain market share, that investment pays off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then looking forward, you maintained your view that for the full year, the market volumes will be roughly on the same level as last year. We are now down some 5% for the first half. So that means a bit of a growth, I guess, for the second half. So what do you see is driving that?
Yeah, no, so definitely the markets have been quite challenging in the first half. It's to be frankly honest, it's also been below our internal forecast when we started the year. But then again, we managed to compensate the lost top line with improved gross margin and lower OPEX, like Kirsi said. But no doubt we need to see a step change also in the top line in the second half of the year. And I guess, Kirsi, you can comment more on what actions we're going to do. But she briefly mentioned when it comes to EBITDA, then take over.
No,
Yeah.
but I mean, to build on what Stein is saying here, the second half is obviously a major part of our business.
Yes.
Quarter 3 and 4 are basically the biggest quarters for us anyway. And what makes us confident for the rest of the year, and because of which we still keep the guidance intact, are maybe the 3 things. First of all, our ongoing initiatives that we are already doing in the company are starting to pay back to us and improve the profitability. Secondly, we have the amazing portfolio. We talked about Koskenkorva variants, especially the liqueurs and the RTDs growing double-digit. We mentioned the wine improvements in Sweden. And thirdly, the Glögg season is just about to begin, and the team is extremely excited about this year, both about the Blossa Annual, but then also some of the new launches that we have in the pipeline. We are extending the consumer occasion for Glögg season by launching Glühwein and pumpkin spice for the Halloween season. So the portfolio part is good. And then the third element is then our independence of the monopoly. So now after Q2, we have 45% of our business coming from the monopoly. So little by little, we're becoming less and less dependent on that one channel.
Yeah, right. Then you also said in the report that you will kind of launch more or accelerated measures to support the profitability, and then also reviewing the strategy basically for the coming years. So are these measures something like which you referred already regarding the guidance, or are they on top of that basically which you will implement later on, maybe this year and next year?
Yeah, this year and next year. As said, we are now engaging ourselves into a sort of a midterm strategy process, which consists of 2 elements. Fit and fix, which is more about looking at our cost base and current sort of initiatives such as revenue management or share improvement or even supply chain footprint. But the second part of that exercise is the focus area, which means looking into more of the future and looking at where does the growth really come from in our company and in this industry in particular. So that's where we are spending next of the weeks, and then hopefully we'll be able to tell more about that in the upcoming Capital Markets Day in November.
Exactly, but the earnings in this year is basically supported by measures already been taken, and then some new measures maybe
already been taken,
to
exactly,
also,
and some of them being accelerated now further on towards the latter part of the year.
Yeah, that's clear. Good. Then actually 2 questions from our investor forum. One was related to the Koskenkorva long drinks, which we can even see here, which was already mentioned, are doing good. But the question was that how has the launch of those been, and has it been according to your expectations? And maybe can you share something about the importance of them in kind of Anora perspective?
Yes. Kirsi, do you want
to?
Yes.
I mean, it's obviously very close to my heart. Also, the spirit sector, having been in the process of launching these products. But I think proportionally, obviously, all of these lower alcoholic beverages and non-alcoholic beverages are growing in importance for us as in the portfolio in general. The Koskenkorva Lonkero in Finnish long drink products are very important for us. We just launched them in the end of Q1. So of course we will consistently invest behind them, but we are seeing double-digit growth now after the summer months. It's not only the Lonkero portfolio; it's also the spritzers and hard seltzers. And on top of Koskenkorva, we also are very proud with our partner brand Pellegrino water. So absolutely, the grocery retail as a channel will become much more important in future, and the Koskenkorva we continue developing much further. We have a huge pipeline of innovations coming up, so stay tuned.
Yeah, and then when you say double-digit growth, that's the Koskenkorva brand.
That's the Koskenkorva RTD section of the yes.
But we also saw very good growth in Q2 of non-alcoholic beverages, as some Pellegrino, as Kirsi mentioned.
Which shows that we are quite quick in reacting to the changing environment and consumer habits. I guess most of us have seen some articles this summer about the consumers drinking less and being more conscious, not self-conscious, but health conscious. So we are definitely answering to those demands and needs.
Yeah, clear. And then the last question from our forum, maybe more for the CMD on November, but I'll try it anyway. So you had quite clear growth ambitions also regarding the international markets in your previous or still current strategies. So can you say anything about that? What is the plan for the international growth? Will there be some new measures to support that?
Surely there will be new measures to support that and to track that development, but we are, as said, only beginning to work on the focus part of that fit, fix and focus strategy. So there's nothing else we can say at this stage.
Yeah, so stay tuned for CMD in November.
Exactly.
That's a good place to stop. Thank you, Stein and Kirsi.
Thank you, Rauli.
Thank you.